are the people in your neighborhood, the people that you meet each day.
Hi, Marguerite.
Yeah.
So we're downtown today, which is obviously your favorite neighborhood.
It's where I live, work, and play.
So what do you do, though, when you're advising people on other neighborhoods? Obviously, this is an easy one for you, but how do you help people pick what neighborhood is right for them?
Well, it's a really interesting conundrum. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people realize that agents aren't allowed to say, this is a good neighborhood, this is a bad neighborhood. You know, there are actually people who are hired by Housing and Urban Development to go out with realtors pretending to be buyers and say, can you show me a neighborhood where there's kids? Can you show me a neighborhood where there's no kids? We're not allowed to answer questions like that. But I have a list of resources, Ann has a list of resources where you can do your own research on things like crime.
Well, and we're not allowed to answer those questions directly, but
Right.
It doesn't mean we don't get asked all the time. So we want to give you some advice on how you can get those questions answered on your own, because it is really, really important.
Yeah, you want to find the place that's right for you. Did we make a little list?
We made a little list.
Okay, so what's the first thing?
Well, I think you like the woo-woo stuff. So you start with lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, you should visualize. You know, I mean, when you're thinking about where you want to live, you have a picture in your mind. Get clear about, really walk yourself through it. I want my kids to get picked up by the bus very close and taken to school. I want there to be a Whole Foods nearby or then you're going to move to UP because that's the only Whole Foods we're going to get. You have a visualized idea. I'm going to drive to the grocery store. Maybe your idea is, I want to walk downstairs and buy my coffee in the morning. I want to walk to bars. That's a very different neighborhood than the other one.
And definitely take your life right now.
Yeah.
I mean, be practical so maybe you dream of doing some of these things, but for instance, in our wet weather, the idea of walking everywhere burns some people out. So really start with a list of priorities about how you want to live, what your lifestyle is and what you think you're looking for, because that's going to narrow you right away. And then once you pick a location based on that.
And you should be able to describe that to your realtor, and your realtor should be like, oh, you want that kind of experience? Well, I would say this neighborhood, this neighborhood, this neighborhood, or this neighborhood. That
combined with your budget.
Combined with and then your budget's gonna further filter. So, right. and that's the thing. I mean, I find this so often with buyers where we're weighing, well, I really wanted to have this kind of neighborhood plus 2 bathrooms. And it's like, would you rather have the neighborhood in 1 bathroom?
Yep.
Or would you rather have 2 bathrooms and not live the lifestyle you visualized? I'm in my 9th year now. I think that it's as much as we all want 2 bathrooms.
Right, and that's a little harsh, but there might be a compromise, which is maybe you need to be over 6 blocks or 10 blocks and be close to that downtown happening location or the Proctor district or one of these places in order to get the right combination. So you've visualized how and where you want to live. Then you're going to do some research on it.
Right.
Where?
Well, I really like the Trulia crime heat map because it will show you block by block where criminal activity is happening. And that seems to be the big one for people. They just want to know, what is the likelihood? There's crime in every neighborhood. I think we can acknowledge, no matter how fancy you get, there are still going to be things that happen.
There's red dots out in Gig Harbor, if you look at the map.
Yeah, there's crime happens everywhere. But it's so fascinating is that even within good neighborhoods, there are hot spots of activity. And I remember seeing something on a 60 Minutes once where they were corner lots, sometimes have just more activity in general. So either that activity is protecting you or it's exposing you. And it just depends.
Yeah.
It depends. So you can actually learn from other people's experience by going to the Trulia heat map.
And everybody's definition, this is one of those things as realtors that we have to work hard to gauge, which is the idea of safe is very different for different people. You got to do your own homework on this because we can't define for you what safe is.
But once you've defined it for us, we will make it happen. We know how to do it. We just need that direction to come from you.
City of Tacoma has a really great resource. They've got a map doing something similar. Trulia is really user friendly, and Trulia can give you some great other neighborhood information, as far as statistics. There's local blogs that you can look at.
Absolutely.
Marguerite has a great blog about downtown, for instance.
Feedtacoma.com. exit133.com.
Well, and looking at some of our friend Adrian's got Tacoma Foodie, where people are reviewing restaurants and what's happening in the local scene. That's all part of evaluating where your neighborhood is. You want to look into the schools if that's of interest to you. Sometimes you want to look into the schools even if you don't have children or intend to have children, because often a quality school district has a positive impact on home values. So there's something there to consider.
Absolutely.
So a little online research.
Yes.
Okay, and then what did we say? We said, the technical stuff. Looking into the CCNRs, the homeowners association rules, city zoning.
I think we all have that uncle or friend or grumpy brother-in-law that I bought that house and they are trying to tell me I can't park my boat out front.
There's
if
a
you
reason.
have a boat, find out if you can park it out front. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's America and we get to do whatever we want with our land, and I'm totally on board with that. But when you have neighborhoods that are planned and gated, or condo buildings where you're living in close proximity with your neighbor, there's, you're buying into sort of a philosophy of the way we're going to live because we're living close to each other. So
or even in the city, you buy a house and you don't control. I mean, it goes the other direction.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
don't control what the neighbor next door does. So there's a really nice, well-kept house next to you on this city block. The next house over, when it sells next month, you don't control that, and you just want to be sure that you understand what the limitations are.
Right, and I mean, I started out my real estate career in the country, and people would want to have a couple acres between them and their neighbor for that very reason. But that's also because in the county, there is no enforcement for letting your house go. In the city, there is. If you let your lawn grow high and let graffiti everywhere, the city will come and paint away the graffiti, they will cut the lawn, and they will charge you for it. That's city living. So just when we say like that technical stuff, like find out what the laws are. Just doing that kind of research. And again, that's just telling your realtor, this is the kind of life I want to be living. I want to be lighting off fireworks, parking my boat in the front yard with 15 pit bulls, and find me a house.
Don't call me. So do your homework. Do your homework. Figure out what your vision is. Do your research, and then go visit the location.
Yeah.
So maybe
at night, Saturday.
Maybe you're an avid reader and you've read all the blogs and you've done all the online research and you are sure you know what you're looking for. Go after work. Go on the weekends, see who's outside, see who's parked, how many cars are in the street in the evening when you come home from work, because maybe you're not going to have a parking space. Maybe you're looking at a condo that doesn't have a defined parking space, and there's going to be a lot of competition for a spot. You've got to do that research. It's too big of an investment not to. And we can't answer that for you. You've got to do it on your own.
Good luck finding your good hood.
Who are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet each day.